So once you have presented the results, it's important to discuss them. It's like a mirror. You have to compare your results together with to the results that you have found in the literature. That is why the literature review is so important. So that is why in this chapter you have to compare your results with the results you have found in the literature. So in summary, our contributions and results are mostly in line with our literature review. So our contributions that as most research focuses only on utilitarian benefits and only few studies show the importance of well-being in the adoption of smart technologies, we show this importance. We create a conceptual model UT based on utilitarian benefits, extended with theories of regulatory focus, use and gratification, technical risk and trust theories to explain drivers of smart technology adoption in different countries. So we contribute to IS, information systems theory, and marketing research theory, and shed light on consumer perceptions on risks and benefits of AI-based smart technologies. So precisely, we confirm the regulatory focus theory, which states that users have two types of complementary decision paths when it comes to technology adoption. The utilitarian pathway involving performance, expected effort, ease and use, and effort expectancy, prevention, perceived technology safety, and smart technologies on the intention to use. So the typically UT1 or UT2 path. And we have the effective path confirming the use and gratification theory involving well-being, happiness and health, but also the perceived risk theory with trust in technology decreasing perceiving risks, increasing well-being, and subsequently positively impacting intention to use. So the utilitarian UT path and the effective uses and gratification theory path putting into front for emphasizing well-being as a highly important variable in technology acceptance. And we have a hybrid path on utilitarian prevention and effective goals that shifts negatively from privacy concerns to behavioral intention to use smart technologies via the mediators trust and well-being. So again, we see that well-being is an overall highly important significant variable in technology adoption. We also contribute to cross-cultural theory because we show that in highly masculinous, uncertain and with high uncertainty avoidance countries such as China, the technology adoption is mainly based on performance, whereas in highly feminist and countries avoiding uncertainty, the technology adoption is more based on effective dimensions such as trust and well-being. So this is a very important finding because this shows that disruptive smart technologies should be differently positioned and commercialized in different countries. So in France, actually, high levels of uncertainty avoidance increase the negative impact of privacy concerns on technology trust. In China, with low levels of uncertainty avoidance, privacy risks do not negatively impact trust and well-being. And this is probably also related to the General Data Protection Regulation rule, which is stricter in Europe than in China. And above all, in China, people are less concerned by privacy concerns because actually the society is much more observed than in Western countries. So people are more sensitive to actually these privacy issues. So these are our theoretical contributions in summary. So it's important in this chapter, in the last chapter, that you put into front the contributions by comparing your results with the results of the literature and by showing what you bring, what you contribute to theory, to literature with your research. And you have to also to show the managerial contributions in order to show what your results actually bring for management. What do you recommend to managers? So our recommendations are the following one, that in order to maximize customer intentions to use AI-based smart technologies, we recommend managers to focus on three key variables: safety, security of the smart technology, trust into the technology, and consequently user well-being. 3 key variables. Next to the UT variables, which are, let's say, a little bit less important. But so the key variables are really the perceived risk, the trust, and above all, well-being. The main advertising and positioning arguments should thus be making life more convenient and efficient, create trust by providing physical and privacy protection by being reliable and controllable, to increase the cost effectiveness, more utilities, more performance, to save energy, time, and money, to pollute less, and to, above all, improve health and well-being through comfort, convenience, happiness. The higher the perceived technology security, the higher the trust, which in turn should positively impact well-being and subsequently the usage of disruptive technologies. So that is our managerial and theoretical contributions. And after having presented your contributions and after having discussed the results, it's important to show the limits and research directions. Because no research is perfect, it is important to emphasize the limits, which are actually the opportunity for future research avenues for other researchers. And by the way, even when reading literature, when doing your literature review, you should read the chapter about limits and research directions, because these are actually the research avenues that you can follow for your own research. So for our research, actually you have 3 main limits. First of all, you have seen some of our studies were done with convenience samples. So we have problems of demographic representativeness, namely the study about IoT, smart connected objects, the study about the chatbots are done with student samples. The study with autonomous car and the second study for the smart home in Thailand, the study about the service robots are done with professional panel providers. So they represent really the population. So they are representative and can be extrapolated to the whole population. But for convenience sample, and that is the case when you're doing studies with convenience samples, you have to point out that this is a limit, because it might not represent a reality, because they're not working with representative samples. That is why future studies should, if possible, be done with demographically representative samples by using, for example, professional market survey companies. Second, our studies are mostly cross-sectional, with the exception of the smart home usage study in Thailand and the study for autonomous cars in Stuttgart, where we actually compared the studies over different time periods. So we have user experience. So that is why future studies should be conducted over the long term with regular measurement to capture long-term causal effects, which might change, as you have seen in the study for autonomous cars. These indicators change according to user levels, user experience, and autonomous vehicle levels, switching from before driving, after driving 3, and after driving in the simulator level 5. And finally, except with the autonomous car study and the study in the smart home in Bangkok, most of our studies were and respondents were primed with a short video scenario, which did not actually provide enough information to fully understand all the benefits and risks of a disruptive smart technology. Therefore, future studies should, if possible, use more innovative methodological approaches with real smart technologies in usage, or at least with a virtual reality simulator, in order to prime and frame the respondents as most as possible to the real usage of the technologies, real use situations, and, if possible, measure behavior indicators, because that's the last limit. We measure most of our concepts with degradative measurement scales, which exist in the literature. That's actually a limit of most our research and management science. So we only measure declarative statements, but we are not sure that intention to use really represents real usage. So we cannot be sure that people, if they say we intend to use this technology, that they really use it. Or we cannot really be sure if they say, okay, it creates or impacts positively my well-being, that it really impacts well-being. So it would be good to have indicators which are integrated in the smart technologies, for example, in connected objects, to measure the heart rhythm, to measure the blood pressure, to measure emotions, for example with EEGs, with brain waves. So all these behavioral indicators should be tracked in order to improve the reliability of our outcomes in our research. So this is what you have to point out in the last chapter about actual limitations and future research avenues.